Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? This is Easy Pictures to Draw, and I'm going to go over another question that somebody had in the comments, and that's talking about how to build your visual library for caricature drawing. You know, like when you want to draw caricatures from life. What's a good way to build your visual library? Outside of the obvious would be drawing from photos. That would be the biggest one. But also taking in recognition like different different types that you have that you see a lot. Because the truth is, you see a lot of types all the time. You know what I mean? Just a couple. I'm just going to give you a couple of variations on the stuff that I did, and you can kind of like obviously, find your own kind of types that you see a lot. For example, the eyes. You know, there's really only so many ways that you can draw an eye. There's really only so many ways you can draw an eye, and the eye would be. You know what I mean? Obviously, would be one way would be. One thing I noticed, at least within the Asian type, there's not a lot of eyelid, almost, maybe sometimes no eyelid at all, even. That's something to kind of take into account. And obviously we're building on stereotypes, which is what caricatures are. You know what I mean? They're essentially stereotypes. Yeah, I guess friendly ones, you know, like funny ones. Throwing an eyelid on there would give it a more Caucasian look and or, I don't know, European look. That's something that I see a lot within variations, and that's kind of one of those eyes that I tend to throw in all over the place. That's like the first thing I look at when I look at eyes. I look at if they have, you know, kind of how much eyelid are they showing. Are they showing? Same thing goes with the access of the eyes, you know what I mean? If they have a slanted eye type, you know, let's say you got both eyes, and they're a little bit more. See how there's a point right here and right here, right here and right here? That would be different than right here and right here. The access is different, and that's another thing I tend to watch for, and that's another thing that, you know, something you can kind of store in your memory, like how is that going to work out? You know what I mean? Sometimes people have like these, almost, it makes their eyes look droopy. So kind of top, you know, straight, and then down, you know what I mean? Another thing I tend to see a whole lot would be, let me see, with the eyes, I think that's about the only couple of eyes. I always look at the eyelid, and that kind of gives you the type, you know? The very obvious thing would be like female types. You give them eyelashes no matter what. I wouldn't draw eyelashes on a guy. It tends to look, it looks too feminine, you know, honestly. You could do that. Some guys are known. I remember there was one little kid who was known for his eyelashes, and his mom really wanted them in there, so I did it. Another one would be. Let's go to the nose really quick for nose shortcuts. Obviously, the nose is more malleable because of the cartilage at the end of the nose. So you're gonna have in profile the noses that I remember always drawing. Kind of like that, normal kind of wing of the nostril, that upper lip will come out. And then, because the nose is so malleable, you have kind of hook noses that tend to hang down a little bit over the mouth. Let's say if they're facing that way to kind of make it clear. So if you look at them from the front, it's gonna hang over the mouth. You know what I mean? So that's kind of something to watch out for. And also the kind of small, and this is more like attractive female type, you know what I mean? You have this kind of upturned nose, and like again, you kind of start forming these types in your mind, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna start looking at people within caricatures, and you're gonna pick these out of your library, like boom, that nose with those eyes. That's kind of how they do it with you know, when they find a criminal and they have to have, I forget the name of the word, but when they find a criminal, they'll need an artist there to kind of, you know, show what the criminal could look like. That's what they do. They pick out of their library of, you know, sometimes they'll have a literal library, you know, of like drawn out stuff, and they'll say pick the eyes, pick the nose, pick the mouth, and then they'll, you know, composite something through that. You're essentially compositing it within real life. You know, another thing I see a lot would be the flat noses. Very flat, like flat and wide. They almost don't even have a bridge of the nose. You know what I mean? It's very flat to the face. You see that a lot with African American types, and then you see that a lot with Asian types. You know what I mean? Again, we're playing on stereotypes. Let's go with the mouth really quick. The mouth, most of those tend to be pretty... Okay, that's again, let's go to the side view. The mouth, something to watch out for would be the overbite. So let's say they're facing this way. Kind of that Simpson overbite. They have an underbite, which is actually something I have. You know what I mean? Which is something that they always draw in my caricatures, like kind of an underbite. See, this would be the opening of the mouth, just to be clear. Lip, lip, lower lip, lower lip. And then kind of just the average. Something with the mouth, I see a little bit. Well, you know, honestly, with the mouth, that's so malleable, I don't see a whole lot of those. The one thing I would say on the mouth, and would be something to think about, I'll move this to the right over here so you can see it. Is that clear? One thing with the mouth is watch where the laugh line is. Let's say you got the nose right here, right? Let's just draw some whatever nose. You know when people smile? People are going to be smiling these a lot. You know what I mean? Watch the corner of the mouth, how close it gets to the laugh line. Like this area right here. It's almost like, I want to call this like a zone or something like that. I want to call this like a zone. I don't know. I'll have a name for it next time in another video. But it's like below, this is the philtrum area, but it's below the nose, kind of where the laugh line is around here. Just going to throw in whatever. This area, these points, the point of the edge, and a point right where how close it gets to here, that really dictates the type. You know what I mean? That's another thing you have to kind of watch for, and that's another thing that, again, you can kind of see that. Some of them kind of shove into, you know, like when they smile, it goes like right into that laugh line, and some of them don't. Some of them have like this big space between there. And the head shape, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. There's another video for head shape. And I think that's about it for the kind of like building your library in terms of that. I would say you got to build your own library. That's the thing. We all have our own things that we see all the time. You know what I mean? And you'll see it in different people. So I would say, like, immediately start drawing pictures, all that stuff. Look at the other videos that I kind of talk about this, and build your own personal library up in your brain there. And like I said, just keep on looking at photos. Finding similarities would be the key issue. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like it, and also share my channel. You know what I mean? It's kind of growing every day, and I'm getting like a lot of good comments on here. Comment on what you want to see, and also check out my Patreon. See you later, guys.
Meow.